are good to start. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this special event. I am Phindile Dlamini from UKZN Press. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are launching not just any other set of books. We are launching a series, a unique series, a powerful, impactful series. I was fortunate to attend one of the launches that happened in Johannesburg at the beginning of the year. And I heard the conversations. I listened to the thoughtful conversations. I listened to the reflections. And I believe that what happened in Johannesburg is definitely going to happen here in a bigger way. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take much of your time right now because we do have speakers that are all over here. They will be coming to the front later. We do have our esteemed and speakers who are going to be helping us get into the heart of this series. Right now, I would like to welcome you to sit back, to relax, and to journey with us in this occasion. For starters, I would like to welcome our Executive Director from Corporate Relations Division, Ms. Noma Zondo, to formally welcome us to this occasion. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dlamini. Sanbonani, you sound hungry. Where is the energy? We need a bit of energy. I know it's after lunch, but we still need that energy so that we can go through this program. So thank you once again for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to recognize my DVC for the College of Law and Management, Professor Halema, and also our program director, as she has already introduced herself, Dr. Phindile Dlamini, our distinguished guest, and obviously the distinguished author, Dr. Akan Odon, and also the team that is here with him, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome all of you. It is a great honor for us and a privilege to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you who has made it here this afternoon for the launch of the Career Enhancement Code book series, which Dr. Dlamini has alluded to. And I'm happy to see everyone here because we know in Durban, especially in Durban, when it rains a lot of birds, people don't want to get out of the house. So you actually brave the rain, the cold, and you are here with us. So you deserve a round of applause. As the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we are especially proud to host this event because the themes embodied in these 3 books speaks directly to our mission of producing graduates who are not only academically ready or strong, but also adequately prepared to meet demands in ever-changing world of work. So today, I'm glad to see that we actually have a lot of students here, which speaks to the interest, and also you are interested to find out what is actually in store for you. This remarkable trilogy is timely, insightful, and profoundly relevant to most of us here. Each book speaks to a distinct stage of your career journey and also collectively offering a roadmap for growth as well from early career choices through to professional development. So these books will actually carry through to your journey in advancing your career as well. So as you know that the first one, the first book provides much needed guidance for high school learners and also their teachers and so on. So the books are catering for everyone. The second one, which is actually most relevant to this group here, especially our students, is the graduate code, which speaks directly to our students and also recent graduates. It offers practical tools to navigate the challenges, the challenging transition from study to employment, which is very important. It empowers graduates to actually position themselves effectively in the competitive world. I'm not going to talk through about all of the books, but there's I think everybody sitting here is going to get out of here with something in hand to actually to assist in lifelong learning and also self-development, and also to adapt in different situations as you go out there to improve yourself and also develop further and in your careers. So together, these books, they certainly illuminate the importance of equipping individuals with knowledge, resilience, and also practical strategies that are needed at every stage of the personal and professional journey. So this contribution arrives at a critical moment in South Africa, like many nations, continues to face the dual responsibility of high youth unemployment, as well as disruptive changes brought by the fourth industrial revolutions, and also evolving labor markets. So when you get out of here, you need to be ready for what the market needs. I mean, you might have learned something different here, but when you get out there, the employers want you to be ready. So in this context, Dr. Odon's work is not just timely, but also it's essential for equipping you and also others in making the right decision, and also making sure that you develop as you go along every single day. So on behalf of the University of KwaZulu-Natal, we extend our heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Odon for this remarkable and very visionary contribution. So these books will also make sure that, I think it will serve as a valuable resources for learners, for graduates and professionals out there. So with these few words, I would like to welcome you and also make sure that you stay the course and make sure that you engage, because we also have a Q&A session that Dr. Pindel will actually run later on, which will then give you more in terms of, if you engage, then you will ask more questions and you interact with the author, because it's not often that you actually get an author sitting right in front of you. So use this opportunity to engage and ask the relevant questions so that you learn as you go along. So we look forward to the engagement, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nomazondo, Executive Director, Corporate Relations Division. I've got it right now. You know, we always say CRD, and then you just get confused when you have to say it out the whole word. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, when I first heard about this series from the author himself, you know, I immediately thought of my children. I said, oh, yes, my children. Oh, yes, my students. And then he looked at me and said, just stop. What about you? What about you? Why aren't you thinking about yourself? And I said, Doc, hey, what are you saying? I'm approaching retirement, and there's no way that I could be thinking of changing a career. And he said, no, just think again. Ladies and gentlemen, this actually got me scared, mainly because as a professional, and I'm talking about maybe 50% of professionals in South Africa, we are in the jobs that we are in by default. We just found ourselves there, and we're just riding the wave. And now that is why, it scares me to get into the book, because I don't want to find out at my age that maybe I should have taken another road. But this book actually makes us to think, to reflect, and to really see where else and what else can we tap on in order to enhance our careers. Maybe where we are, there's more that you can still do. Or maybe because he told me that you are never too old. And he even gave me an example of someone, I'm sure maybe he will quote that person as well when he gives his own speech. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite to the stage Cheryl, who is going to introduce our speaker, our renowned international author. of the series. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody. A special thank you to University of KwaZulu-Natal leadership as well as staff for hosting us. And yeah, thank you. I think Ms. Norma did mention, when it's cold in Durban, I'm from Durban, so great to be back. And yeah, Durban's hometown for me. But I just want to let the guests know that it was worth coming out in the cold. That much we can assure you. So very excited to be here. And it is my pleasure to introduce the author. Dr. Kanima Oden holds a master's degree in environmental rehabilitation, a PhD in environmental management from Lancaster University, UK, and several business and enterprise certifications and fellowships from Cambridge University, UK, Stanford University, USA, and Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA. He specializes in cross-border education and innovations in research, and is an expert in navigating, developing, and managing relationships between academia, government, and industry in Africa for economic viability, research, impact, and sustainable innovations. Okay, there's much more, but I've got the short version. So he has been Africa's strategy advisor for Aberystwyth University, University of Strathclyde, and he is currently Director for Africa Strategic Partnerships for Lancaster University and the Africa Director for Zurich Elite Business School, Switzerland. He founded FlexiLearn International, a capacity-building organization for career enhancement and purpose alignment in Africa, and he's also the principal consultant of EnviroFly Consulting UK, a resident company at Lancaster University. He's also the chair of the African Union Scientific Research and Innovation Council in the UK and sits on several international boards, including the largest and most reputable think tank organization in Africa, the Africa Technology Policy Studies Network, ATPS, headquartered in Nairobi, Kenya. In the last 5 years, Dr. Akan has won over £40 million in international grants for multiple African and UK institutions and for several transformative projects. He is an international multi-award winning poet, an author, an educator, film producer, and career coach, and he is proud to be an apostolic teacher of Jesus Christ. So please put your hands together and welcome my friend and the renowned author, Dr. Akan.
So I'm actually speaking now. That's good. It's really good to be here. First and foremost, I want to most sincerely appreciate my host. To put this together when students are not on campus in the middle of a vacation and still get this number. Then added on top of that, you also have the massive rain today. I saw that. So I want you all to clap for yourselves again, please. Thank you. That's really good. And I am hoping that at the end of today, you can go and tell your friends, you guys missed a lot. And that's going to happen, I can assure you. So I want to first thank my host. I want to thank the amazing Norma Zondo. And I won't make the mistake, the director of, Executive Director, Corporate Division. Is that correct? Corporate Relations Division. Don't worry, we will get it finally. Fantastic. I also want to thank Dr. Findile for just being incredible. So she directs the UKZN press office, and she's very right. We had an encounter in Johannesburg, and I think I felt it in my heart that it makes sense, therefore, to put this together. And I think, obviously, after speaking to Ms. Norma, she says, okay, yeah, I think we can do that. And I think it's important to, there's a reason why you host books or launch books, is you want like a platform. It's almost like you have a new car, and you kind of require a moment where you tear the rubber of the car. Or if you like, you have a new house and you organize a housewarming. And I think it's a way to kind of announce it as well to the universe that this book has come alive and is ready to impact lives in the environmental location with which the book is launched. And I truly believe that. And I think I want to just maybe speak very briefly to kind of give you a sense of what the book is about. Now, it's not very often you go for a book launch and you have 3 books to be launched. So that's because of the nature of the story. So I'll tell you a very short story. So about 5 years ago, I walked into a room just like this in Nigeria. And it was a room of final year students of a specific department. I can't remember the department it was. I was talking to them about employability and different things, about how school life is, and they had so much fun. Now, you're final year students. I don't know how it is in South Africa, but in Nigeria, you spend 4 years in the university. So they spent 4 years in university. And at the end of my talk, I remember turning to them and saying, how many of you are doing a course of study you love? And in a room of over 200 students, maybe only about 20 hands go up. I say, interesting. Then I said, okay, well, how many of you, if you like, at the moment, since you're in the final year, you're about to leave the university, how many of you have a sense of what you might do when you graduate? And maybe 2 hands go up. So now I'm thinking, so let me get this right. You spent 4 years in university going for lectures every other day, and then you go home, sometimes sleepless nights, and then you write reports and sometimes essays, and then you cram things. You know, have you met a student where, I don't know if that happened to you. When I was in university, it's what you call cramming, okay? Cramming is you lift information in your brain, and if you even move too much, it might pour. So you as you're approaching exams, you are strict and you are quiet. And the only reason is because even if you talk, what you've kept in a position in your brain might evaporate. So you walk into the hall and you just download, and if they ask you after you leave the room about the same subject, you've forgotten everything. Literally 2 minutes after the exams. Okay? So you have to do all of that. And at the end, in your final year, somebody asks you, what might you do when you graduate? And you say, you have no idea. That literally shocked me. And I'm like, now this is one of the top universities in Nigeria. Imagine the lower universities. Now, 55 countries in Africa, with that number of young people who actually believe or are believed to have gone to university to get clarity. And they still finish, in some cases, more confused than they were before they began. Now we have a crisis. So I cannot forget this. I left that room and I went home. And I travel a lot in my job. And I wrote the graduate code in about 2 months. I remember I wrote it out of anger. You know, when you are angry about the situation, like this shouldn't be happening. And I wrote the graduate code. Now, let me give you a sense of the graduate code. Because I'm telling you a story from one book to the other. The graduate code was written for people in university, people in colleges, and like fresh graduates. And if you carry the book, there's a premise. And the tagline from the book is this, so hear me very carefully. It says, in every professional, there's a student wanting to learn. And in every student, there's a professional waiting to earn. I came up with that tagline after doing intense traveling and meeting different people. So let me break it down. So in every professional, there's a student wanting to learn. And in every student, there's a professional waiting to earn. I'll begin with the student one. In my experience, I'm backed up by research. The most successful students who become successful after graduating, hear me clearly, are students who start behaving like professionals while they are students. Did you hear me? The most successful students in every country of the world who become really successful after graduation are students who decide to start acting and behaving like professionals while they are studying. In the same vein, the most successful professionals, like you said, Ms. Norma, Professor Kalema, Dr. Findile, the most successful professionals in life who are successful in their professional life as professionals who continuously behave like students while they're professionals. You know why? Because they're always learning. They're never tired. And getting better at what they do is why they're successful. So I'll break it down. If you are a student in this room, okay, and you haven't started behaving like a professional, I am sorry, but you might struggle. And the simple things. So if I ask in the room now, for the students in the room, is there any student in this room that has a 3-page CV? Can I see by show of hands? First, let me not assume. Do you first know what a CV is? I don't want to assume. Do you all know what a CV is? Curriculum vitae. You do, right? Good. So the second question is there anybody here who has a CV that is up to 3 pages? Can we clap for that lady, whoever she is? Are you yeah? I can see you clearly. You have got 3-page CV. If we can confirm it, I'll sign you a free copy of my book. Okay? So after the end of the session, talk to Madam Cheryl and show her the CV. If she can confirm it's 30 pages, you get my book, a signed copy with a picture with me. Now, there's a reason why I said that. Because the average student who graduates in Africa, if they write their CV, it's about maximum, maybe 1.5, 2 page. And there's a reason why. The reason is because if they write their age, or rather their name, their address, date of birth, maybe email address, at this point, maybe the only education they have is secondary school education, and they can't even write, or maybe university. That's maybe like 2-3 lines. Then now, at this point, they can't even write anything on that work experience. So that's a no-no. Then you now move quickly down and write hobbies and interests, another 2 or 3 lines. So when they write the CV, they discover, my goodness, at the end of my CV is only half a page. So what do? They now increase the font size. And then they expand the line spacing. After all of that, it's still half a page, or maybe going to a page. They can't send that for a job. So what do? Some add picture in the beginning of the CV to expand it. Let me get this. Why are you struggling to put stuff in your CV when you had 4 years of staying in university to develop content for the same CV? So I'll paint you a picture. If you were to write your CV in the first year of university, the chances are you write and write. By half a page, you are done. Am I right? Now, if you've done nothing between your first year and your final year, chances are when you have to write your CV when you graduate, same thing will happen. Because you write and write, you get to half a page, and what happens? You are done. So the reason is because you haven't been intentional about what goes into the CV. Now, I've checked this. Every section of a CV can be developed extensively while you're a student. Can somebody guess how many pages was my CV when I graduated? It's about 7 pages. If there's anybody listening to me right now, there's a singular question I'm expecting you to ask at this point. Anybody? Talk to me. Speak up. Speak up. Seriously, I know you know the answer. Talk to me. What's the question I'm expecting someone to ask me now? Thank you. What have you written in this thing that has made it 7 pages? So let me give you an idea of what I mean. Okay? So you realize that employers don't like fresh graduates because they can't show work experience. Am I right? They don't employ you. And you are saying, but employer, I was a student. Why are you asking for work experience? It's like a catch-22. I can't get the job. I want experience. But I'm a student, not an employee. So how does that work? So let me give an example. As I was driving in just now, I just looking around, just in a short drive, I spotted maybe like 4 or 5 posters of events. If there's anybody who organizes events, it's a university. They organize events every other day. The funny thing is, you students walk past those flyers and you say, it doesn't concern me. After all, I'm not a staff. And you go for lecture. From next week, try something different. The next time you walk past a flyer of an event, look at the flyer, there will be a number. Are you following me? Now, call the number and say the following thing. Say, sir, I just saw this conference. Is it possible for me to volunteer to be part of the organizers of this international event? Even if I have to carry the water and the meal, just let me do something for this conference. At the end of the conference, what do? You carry your CV. You drink some tea to relax because you're about to write something powerful. Then you write, I was part of a supersonic team. Come on now. That organized an international conference. Is it a lie? Prof. Because you did it. That is you being intentional and developing content for your CV. Can you imagine how many pages you would have had if you were attending and organizing an international conference in your department at least twice every month? Are you hearing me? That's intentionality. Nobody will tell you that. It's you to do that yourself. Now, the cool thing about events, or rather about universities, is because for some reason, when a student looks at a university, by the way, I'm just focused right now on the graduate code. I have to move quickly. But this is important to me. That's why I'm spending time on this, because most of the people in the room are students. I won't spend so much time like that when I talk about the career code, which is meant for people in secondary school, and the professional code, which is meant for the people that are already working. So I'm spending my time focusing on the graduate code. So everybody in the room, at the end of the day, because your time is in your hands, okay, and you are a student, and you always regard the university as a center of learning. There is something else most students don't realize a university is. And the moment you do, everything changes. Did you realize that? And if I'm wrong, sir, correct me. Beside the government, UKZN is the biggest employer of labor in the entire Durban. Am I correct, sir? How many staff do we have? More than 2,000. Now, can you imagine a company with 2,000 staff? Are you following me? That's a serious company. UKZN employs over, how many, sir? How many? 5,000 staff. So let me get this right. So literally you spend 4 years in the biggest employer of labor and have no idea about labor. There's something wrong with you. Did you hear me? There is something wrong. It's because you think it's just university. Go for lecture. Go to your classroom. Now, if you know that consciousness, so what do? You start looking for opportunities of giving yourself access to the myriads of labor that the university offers. True testimony. A young man in the university was in one of my sessions like this, and he heard this. A week after, he gets dressed. So normally he wears jeans. You hear me? Because he heard that a student who wants to be successful begins to behave like a professional. So that day, he wore the only suit he has. I'm not sure it was even his size, because he hasn't worn it for a long time. And he goes to the library of his university. True story. Then he says, I want to speak to the librarian. So the librarian was thinking, it was like the usual thing, I'm looking for the book. But the young man says, sir, is it possible if I work in the library for like 2 hours a week or 2 hours a month? It was a week, 2 hours a week. And it's okay not to pay me, sir. Guess what happened? So this is him narrating the story to me. The librarian looks at him. So he's thinking, this young man, are you okay? You know why? Because nobody has ever done that. Who is this young man coming to ask to work in the library for 2 hours a week, and it's okay not to pay him? Now, let me put it in context. Do you know what 2 hours a week is? 2 hours is a game of Manchester and Arsenal. Does that make sense? That is 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. I like the way you said the age. So when you say that age, the thing is hitting you. So you spend hours doing absolutely nothing. I was in a room like this in Zambia, many students, and I was talking like this. When a student heard this, he was at the back, he screamed, "Doc!" I said, "Why?" I said, calm down. He said, "I won't calm down, sir." I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "You are so right." I said, "What do you mean?" This is very funny. He said, "Last week, sir, I was asking a girl out on WhatsApp for 4 hours stretch. The girl said no. That is 4 hours of my life. I could have invested in something important for my careers. Begging this girl to go out." So he was angry with himself. He said, "I will never be the same again." Now, this young guy I'm telling you about, he worked in the university library for about 1 year before graduating. That experience he had, he put it in his submission. Within a space of 6 months, because of this story narration in his personal statement, he got a full scholarship to do his master's in the UK. That's impact. Because you decide to do something different. So I'll give an example. What's your course of study? The lady. What do you study? Education. Okay, let me ask you, be very open. Is there something else you love doing that is not your course of study? Can you tell the room? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I want to make a point. What do you like doing? Like this passion of yours you like doing that is not necessarily education. What is it? Yeah. Just pick it to pick it. You're scared. Okay, does anybody answer the question? So I'm trying to make, okay, so what's your course of study? Geological science. What do you love doing that is not geological science? You love psychology. Now, does UKZ then offer psychology? You do. Now, let me paint you a picture. So, do you realize that there is no law in any university in the world that you cannot walk into any classroom and take any course, even if you haven't registered for it? I'll say it again. So you can be studying geological science, but you love psychology. You are allowed by law. Ms. Norma, you can back me if I'm making this up. I'm making this up. No, I've checked though. No, seriously. So what you are precluded is you can't do exams. But as far as it's a course happening on campus, you can go and meet the professor and say, "Prof, I love psychology. Can I sit in your class?" But the trouble is, nobody has actually ever asked. So what did I do? I started doing, because everything I do is based on research. I started interviewing many professors in different universities all over Africa. And it's a simple question. And the question is, "Prof, if you are a professor of business and a science student comes to your office and say, 'Prof, I love business. I love money.'" How many of you love money? Show of hands. Even that one has 2 hands up. See, and you ask, "Prof," I say, "Prof, I love business, but I'm doing sciences. Is it okay, sir, if I just come into your class once in a while? You wouldn't even know I'm there. I can even be at the back seat just to hear you talk about these business things. Is that be okay?" Do you know that all the profs I've asked said as long as they've come to ask me, that they will allow him to the class. But then they said something else that surprised me. Many of the profs says, as far as he's concerned, that will become his best student. Then I asked why. And he says, because that is the only student he's sure wants to be in his class. Does that make sense? Because as far as he's concerned, everybody else may have just been in the class because their parents said they should come. Or because that is the only course they have. But this one, who isn't supposed to be here, comes and asks to actually sit in the class. Now that's serious. So what am I saying this? Try it next week. If you need help, come to Miss Norma. That's why she's here. I said, Miss Norma, I was in the class when the professor told me it's possible. And let her just help you to speak to a professor in psychology to see if you cannot attend his classes. I'm sure you can. I've checked. It's because people never ask that. And why is that important? And I struggle with this. I loved writing. I seriously love writing. I'm finishing now. I will go straight and just wrap up. I love writing. But I was studying zoology for my first degree. You know what zoology is? Study of animals. Meh. Yeah, that's what I studied. My father wanted me to study medicine. But I guess, since I can't study human beings, I might as well study animals. So I remember going to this my class, and it was quite stressful. I didn't like the course at all. So at some point, I'm thinking, okay, that's interesting. Since I love writing, I am going to at least try my best and become the best in my class. And I think I made the first class in zoology. But I've always known I love writing. But the funny thing is, I used to walk past the English department of the university to my house and back. Every day I was going to go and study science. And I never had an opportunity to just even, or the clarity to just stop in and said, what do you guys even do here? Do you know that I suffered that as an author? Because the first manuscript, I knew I love writing. But the difference between loving something and being good at it and understanding the principles and technicalities that actually guide those things. So the first manuscript I did for my first book, have you received a script where there's red, red ink? Every page, every line, red, 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 red. That's how my manuscript was. Because even though I love writing, I lacked the technical capacity to align words in ways that actually follows theories and instructions. So what did I do? I had to go and take a course on writing. Everybody in the room, bring out your mobile phones. Bring out your phones. I'm sure you all have phones. If you go to your mobile phone right now and type free international courses in an area you like, say, for example, for the lady, you're studying geology, but you like psychology, type free international courses in psychology. I am 100% sure you will see a long list of courses which you can decide to take in your free periods. So at the end of graduating from UKZN, you both have qualification from geology, but also some assessment or certificates from doing free courses online in psychology. All of this and a lot more I cover in the book called The Graduate Code. I released the book, and it was good in the market. It became a bestseller. I converted the book into principles of short online courses. A few months later, I started getting bombarded by parents who began to read the book. And they said they think it is not right or nice that they have to wait till they get to university before they get access to these principles, these practical things. So because of that instruction or demand, I now wrote the career code. For the career code, I focus on the things you can do when you're in secondary school. And the way it's written, all the books give power to the reader. So at the end of every chapter, there are specific exercises and activities you must do to actually make you change your behavior. For the one called the career code for secondary school, there are instructions for the parents and teachers and instructions for the child. And the reason is because I want to also empower the child what to ask the parents to do. Say, Mom, you haven't done this. The book says you should do this. Because then the more you harass the parents, the more they get their acts right. Because what is happening in reality is the fact that parents have no idea about careers. They say, your teacher should know. Then I ask teachers. Teacher says, well, you should ask your parents. I'm sure they also know. So it's like young people are being moved left and right like a pendulum. So this stops because of the career code. And finally, I now discovered that as the book progressed, many people now thought, wait a minute, I'm a professional. I have been working for 10 years, but I'm still confused. You're confused. Yes, I'm still confused. I am doing a job, but I hate the job. I hate my boss. I'm doing this job only for the salary. And okay, wait a minute. There's a problem even for working professionals. And so I wrote the professional code. In the professional code, I give a breakdown, very clever. I mean, in terms of, it's about 384 pages. It's quite a bulky book, but it's very, very practical. Where reading the book from one chapter to the other, you begin to understand how to align yourselves, how to find global partners, how to find money, what to understand in raising funding. If you're an entrepreneur in the marketplace, what to do to get more customers. If you are working and you hate your job, how to integrate what you love into your job, how to find purpose, how to align with purpose is very comprehensive. And those 3 books now form the Career Enhancement Code series. The Career Code for secondary school, the Graduate Code for people in university and colleges, and the Professional Code for those who are working. And on that note, thank you very much.
Need I say more, ladies and gentlemen? Dokotela, I'm calling you in the way that we call our doctors, KwaZulu Natal. Dokotela, siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you so much, so much. Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you so much for this insightful and thought-provoking speech. You know, there's just so much that is going on in my mind right now. What is coming to my mind right now is a course that we once put together for entrepreneurship in the arts. We thought that most of our students who are doing the Bachelor of Arts are the students that don't really know what to do beyond their degrees. So we came up with this entrepreneurship in the arts course. It was like an 8-week course. And you won't believe how many people attended. About 5, the first time. And in my class, there were 2 from law, and there was 1 from science, and another 2 from arts. It was for the arts. It was there, given to them, specifically because the university has seen that, had seen that there is a problem with the Bachelor of Arts students beyond their degrees. The university wanted to help the students, but the students just didn't come. And secondly, what also comes to my mind is when you are sitting there at graduation, and the students getting their degrees, their Bachelor of Arts degrees or whatever, it's written there, the majors. And you worry when you're looking at the majors. What is the student going to do with these majors? And I think this book is really very, very important, this series, because it is going to help the students whilst they're still at high school, so that when they are at university, they are intentional about what they want to do. Instead of asking each other, which course is easier? Is it easy to get credits in this course? And then you find that they've got these courses that come up and make a degree. And you see the parents ululating and getting excited. And you as a lecturer, you're so worried because you know that this child is not going to find a job with this combination. So I am very happy. I'm feeling quite emotional right now because I am a parent myself. I am a lecturer myself. I am an academic. And luckily for me, I've been an entrepreneur. So I know exactly what it takes to be in so many spaces. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to quite an exciting session. Why I say this session is exciting, because we've got students, we've got people that volunteered to read the books and comment. We call it a commentary session that we're moving into. They volunteered. Udokotela has been talking about that, volunteering. We had about 30 books that we wanted to give away to students to volunteer to read. We didn't give away all those books because a few people came forth and said, I can volunteer to read. But thank you so much to those people that actually volunteered to read. And what actually excites me the most is that they actually read a hard book, a hard copy book. So this excites me because I am from UKZN Press, and my job is to make books. So it actually excited me to see that there is still space for hard copy books. Because in this fast-paced technology era that we live in, with gadgets and screens, there's still a space for the book. And the book is very important. And the knowledge that you get from a book is immeasurable. You've just heard it here from the horse's mouth. So now I've got about 5 reviews that we are going to share with the audience. And after that, we are going to get into a Q&A session. Unfortunately, most of the reviewers couldn't come themselves. But beyond reading the book, they penned down their review reports. So I've got people that are going to be reading these review reports on behalf of the readers of the books. I think firstly, let's just give those people a round of applause. And I would like to call their names, just for record. We've got Pumla Daniels, who read the Graduate Code book. We've got Unati Sibego, who read the Graduate Code book. We've got Zibongele Pengu, who also read the Graduate Code book. We've got Kaiya Njingana, who read the Career Guide. So this is a high school child. He or she read the Career Guide and provided a review. Let's give him or her a round of applause. And lastly, we've got Snem Kwanazi, who read the Professional Code book. So we are going to hear these reviews. And I've got Nothando Xalane, who is going to read one by Snem Kwanazi. And I'll just need to have like 3, maybe other readers who can read the other reviews. If I could just get 3 volunteers from the floor. Volunteers, hey! You're gonna write on your CV, I read. I read a review. In a book launch. Not just one book, a series of 3 books. Right, you've got one over there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. So let's start with Snem Kwanazi's review that will be read by Nothando Xalane. professionals in the room, you are all going to leave with a copy. We are getting to the prize and everything. Right, the next one is Zibongele Pengu by Siqedile Mbambo. Lovely. Thank you. It is really hot. And I still want you to explain to us later why you called it a code. You know, a code. Makes us feel smart. Okay? All right, can we please have the next reader coming right in front, because the people who are listening online, they can't really hear. Over to you, if you could just come here, the front. The first two are fortunate. Yeah? Yes, I was in the front. Yes.
Hi guys. Pumila Daniels, the Graduate Code Review. Okay, on this one. So, okay, I'm a bit nervous. I didn't anticipate being in the front. Okay. Reading the Graduate Code has been an important journey for me as a university student. The book addressed the challenges, dreams, and uncertainties of student life. I found the writing both practical and inspiring. It offered me guidance that feels relevant for my academic path and personal growth. What moved me the most was how Dr. Akino Odon emphasized the importance of discipline, resilience, and self-belief. It reminded me that success isn't just about talent, but it's also about the mindset and habits we develop every day. As a student dealing with pressures, deadlines, and expectations, I felt encouraged and motivated to stay focused on my goals. This book did more than share lessons. It made me reflect on my own journey and the kind of graduate I want to be. Okay, I feel like I wrote this. It is a resource I can always return to whenever I need reassurance or direction. Thank you to Dr. Akino Odon for writing such a thoughtful and uplifting book. It truly touched me and gave me a renewed sense of hope and determination. Feedback by Pumula Daniels, UKZN Ambassador.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Letoguhle Nxumalo, and I'm a student here at UKZN. I will be reading Unathi Sibego's review on the Graduate Code. This book, titled Graduate Code by Dr. Akanimo Adons, targeted at students, fresh graduates, and young professionals who are trying to cross that difficult bridge between university life and the world of work. What makes this book stand out for me is its practical approach. Dr. Adon doesn't just give abstracts about this book. Real examples and practical examples that challenge the reader to reflect on their own skills, ambitions, and career choices are also given. It's a book that encourages action, not just passive reading. Another strength is that it directly tackles the mindset shift needed when moving from being a learner to being an earner. Many graduates struggle with this transition, and Dr. Adon provides tools to help them see themselves not only as students of knowledge, but also as professionals of value. This book is also grounded in the author's own experience. Having worked extensively across academia, government, and industry, particularly in Africa, Dr. Adon brings credibility and vast practical insights and knowledge from his experiences and interactions with people from around the world. Overall, the Graduate Code succeeds in being both inspirational and, as mentioned before, actionable. It provides young people with a framework for thinking about their careers, along with the confidence to step forward and apply themselves without fear of failure, as highlighted in the book Trial and Error are part of the journey. So if you are a student preparing for life after graduation like me, who is curious to know the tips and tricks of the working world, or a young professional still finding your feet, this is a book that can equip you with both clarity and courage. This is by Unathi Sibego, UKZN Ambassador.
Thank you very much. The last one is coming down. Let's wait for him.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Misoguhle Dlamini, and I will be reading a review by Khaiya Njingana from grade 11 Durban Girls High School. The Career Guide by Dr. Akanimo Odon gives students in high school and university the opportunity to understand what it takes for you to find the career best suited for you. Using a mixture of studies and his own personal experiences, he highlights what is needed in order to determine the type of career field that is most fitting for you. The book includes reflection as well as research. The author writes with understanding of how circumstances differ for people and gives alternatives on two sides of the working scale, the employee aspect and the entrepreneurial aspect. Sorry, everyone. He makes it clear how they differ and how the reader might see themselves suiting one more than the other. The book uses reflection activities that you can complete in order to see what question you should ask yourself more regarding your career choices. The career guide also recognizes the crucial role of families, especially parents or guardians, on career decisions, making it highly reliable for readers who might be influenced by their family expectation. The inclusion of real-life experiences helps bridge the gap between theory and practice, showing how career choices can be made realistically and with a clear view of the challenges involved. Dr. Adon makes reference to Gatsby benchmarks, which are the 8 standards of excellence for providing effective careers, education, guidance, and advice to young people in schools and universities. This was reassuring as it reliably substantiated the ideas the author presented. I found the career guide to be a good educational tool for teenagers and young adults who find the thought of career research anxiety inducing due to the pressure they feel. It has a calming and reassuring effect as through the process of reading, you are also actively working to understand what is best for you. It is written by Khaya Njingana, grade 11, Durban Girls High School. Thank you.
Lovely. Grade 11. Grade 11. Thank you so much to our readers. Let's give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to that time where we will be engaging our author. But before we get to that, whilst we're still allowing all these reviews to simmer, while we're still thinking about the questions that we'll be asking or the comments that we'll be making, I would like to call yet another student from Zuvele High School, athi nje ukuzosithi nje ngenkondlo. Khwezi Mtolo.
Good day, everyone. My name is Kwezi Mtolo, and I'm from Zuvele High School. So today I'm going to be reciting a poem on where I see myself after grade 12, because I'm doing grade 12 this year. I see myself in healing hands so fine. I see myself in varsity's busy grind. I see myself with books, knowledge to find. I see myself with patients, one at a time. I see myself in a stable medical role. I see myself with a family that makes me whole. I see myself in a home warm and bright. I see myself with loved ones day and night. I see myself with hardworking rewards in sight. I see myself shining with all my might. Thank you.
Please come back. Please come back. Just look at her. Thank you so much.
I'm nervous, guys.
Dynamite comes in small packages. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes.
You wanna take a picture? Oh wow, University of KwaZulu-Natal. Udlangamandla lo, umchenge lo, unongwadla lo, utolo lo. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. All right. Before we go to the Q&A session, we would like to do the unveiling. because some of you haven't seen the book. So we're now going to move over there to unveil so that you see this code, and our author is going to explain to us why the code. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So now we can all see the series. We can all see the code. You know, carrying this book, it doesn't just say guidelines, you know, guidelines to graduation. You know, it says graduate code. You're cracking a code. Don't you feel smart? Don't you feel smart cracking a code? Yes, yes, yes. Right, before we move on to the Q&A, I would like Cheryl to also share her experiences. Over to you, Cheryl.
Then we'll get to the why the codes. Yeah. Good afternoon to everybody again. So I was introduced to the graduate code just before COVID. So that was about 2019, I think, 2020. And at that time, I'd been an IT professional already. So I was 25 years already in the IT industry, minding my own business. I thought I was quite comfortable, but I was still searching. And reading the graduate code for me challenged me. It challenged me because due to circumstances, I never had that opportunity to discover. And in Dr. Akan's books, he talks about the deed pathway where, you know, as a person and as a student and as a child, you should, and you know, even as a parent, I now see that for my children, in that you should discover who you are and, you know, what is it that you have that comes naturally to you, because those are the things that give you energy. And so when you align those things to, you know, monetizing it and creating streams of income, when a crisis happens like COVID, you'd have a niche that nobody else can compete with you. And so the market is changing, and I had the benefit of reading that book before COVID, because that book then changed me as well. Yeah, and so I didn't, you know, I hadn't done that discovery before, but with the book I started discovering, and I was confused as well. And so I started exploring what is it that I had. I started educating those things, and now I've moved on to finding ways as to how do I distribute that as well. And I think, you know, lots of the students mentioned that this book is very practical. It's very practical. It has assignments at the end of it, and it can become, or it is, a career, it's a coaching manual. So you can have that as a manual. And I must be honest, when I read it the first time, I honestly didn't know what those answers were. And he knows that. So at the end of each chapter, it asks you to reflect and to be honest to yourself. And every time I looked at those questions, I didn't know what those answers was. And with the guide of a mentor, I signed up as a career coach for his program. And I think we've been through more than 20 cohorts where, because of my IT experience, I went in to offer industry experience. And in exchange, I diligently did those assignments, even if I didn't know those answers. And I shared it in a safe space. And over the years, it's like peeling layers of an onion. I then started to understand that, wait a minute, these are the things that give me energy. These are the things that I'm passionate about. These are the things that I'm not so great at, but right now I don't have to explore those avenues because, you know, I have bills to pay, right? And so I had to continue on that path as well. So it is very possible, if you are sitting in a career, that isn't your primary passion and something that gives you energy today, it is possible to then look at an option B, and then you start feeding that, and as it starts growing and you nurture it, it can then become your option A. Okay, so for me, as Dr. Akan mentioned, I then became a student in my professional life. And so for the past 6 years, I've been doing different things, studying, exploring different, and he speaks about the E-routes as well. I have been through education, I've been through employment, and I didn't know you can be an entrepreneur all at the same time. And so I started exploring those things as well. And for me, being a parent, I have 2 children, and I started noticing what is it that they have, because those are the privileges I didn't have as a child. And so as a parent, I have 2 boys, and I started seeing, they have different talents, they have different hobbies, and I started nurturing it, and they're now 13 and 15, and I've helped them to even think about how to monetize those things, because you can do that as a parent. You can teach your children how to monetize those things as a child, and get better at taking those solutions to market, and by the time you become an adult, you can then master those things, which then helps employment, it helps your families, it helps the economy as well. Yeah, and so it's been a really great journey in that, being a professional, thinking that life was okay and it was comfortable, and to read these books and to understand that there's so much more. There's so much more, and also we are capable of so much more. Because today, as much as I'm an IT specialist, I'm also supporting FlexiLearn initiatives as well because of passion. And so my hope is that you would read those books, that you would change, and that also you would change as a role model for others as well, to for us to ultimately enhance our communities, enhance our country, and enhance Africa. Yeah. So thank you so much.
This word book resonates with me very well. Very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got our author here, and we've got our speakers. We've got Cheryl, we've got everyone else who's been contributing here. We've come to a time where you can share your reflections, you can ask your questions, and you can make comments. And just please try and make it brief and straight to the point so that you can hear as many voices as you can. Over to you. The floor is yours. And there's also a surprise. So please, question time. Oh yes, my question first. Why?
To answer the question, I'd like you to turn to your neighbor and say, you are special. I don't think you understand what I mean. Okay? And you will say it again after I explain. There are 8.1 billion people on the planet. Follow me? Do you know why they use thumb for thumb printing? Can anyone tell me why? It's unique to you, right? So that means basically out of 8.1 billion people, you are the only person without thumbprint. What if I told you that, as first discovered, in every human being in this room, there is at least 7 or even 8 other things that is unique to only you on the planet? Are you ready to count? Talk to me, come on. Are you ready to count? So, thumb, what? 1. Are you ready? Now, do you realize that the iris of your eyes, okay, the structure of your eyes is unique to only you? It's the reason why you watch some films and they open, isn't it? They open the door by doing what? By scanning their eyes. How many is that? That's 2. Everybody has got lips, right? And on your lip are markings. You do know that? No human being has the same marking as the markings on your lips. That's true. Everything I say, we live in a Google world, so you can check this. You can literally just go on Google and check this. How many is that? That's 3. Good. So you realize that your tongue has got hairs that is responsible for the taste you have. Now, there are millions of hairs, they're called papillae, okay, on your tongue. And they are arranged in different dimensions that is peculiar to only you. So you are the only person that has the arrangement of papillae on your ear out of 8.1 billion people. It's the reason why you taste something and it's salty, and someone else tastes something is also salty. It's because of the arrangement of the papillae. How many is that? Come on, room, talk to me. Now, you realize that your teeth dentition is unique to only you. So the size of your teeth, the design of the pattern, the arrangement of the teeth, the gapping of the teeth is planting on your gum. All put together is unique to only you. Is the reason why people die and then they can identify them with what? Their dental arrangement. That's just you. So each time you bite corn, you are the only person that will leave the mark on that corn out of 8.1 billion people. How many is that? 5. Your voice. The frequency of your voice, together with your accent, the wavelength of your voice and intonation, put together, nobody on the planet speaks like you. Oh, man. That's fire. How many is that? 6. That's 6. Now, your ears. So you know you have an inner ear and an outer ear. So there's an arrangement of your inner ear up to your outer ear. Even just the structure of your earlobe, called the pinna, is unique to only you in the entire planet. How many is that? 7. Just the way you have fingerprints, you also have toe prints. Okay? Nobody on the planet, 8.1 billion people have toe prints like yours. How many is that? 8. Oh, there's even a cool one I love. This is my best one. It's called the gait. So a gait is the way you walk. So, see, if I walk like this. You see that walk? That walk is a combination of a few things. The way you walk is a combination of your weight and your height, the length of your bones, the size of your hip, the structure of your hip muscles combined with the nature of your joints contributes together to the way you walk. Nobody walks like you walk out of 1.1 billion people. Now, with that knowledge, now turn to your neighbor again. And now say it with meaning that you are special. So why did I call the book Codes? It's because you are a body of codes. What do I mean? It makes no sense, and think about it logically. It makes no sense for me to be this different. My eyes, my ears, my lip, my voice, the way I walk, and then you are living your career and your life to chance. That makes no sense. Come on. You can't be that unique in the things on your external body, and you think that you are not unique in the things you do to survive. That makes no sense. That is the reason why you require a special code. Come on now. To unlock clarity so you are walking in the path that is unique to you. Thank you.
I definitely got more than I bargained for. No, yeah. Now I'm so conscious about my voice. I'm so conscious about the way I walked from there to here. All right, okay, so it's question time, it's comments time, it's reflections time. Can I get a helper, please? Volunteer. You're gonna help me? Thank you, thank you. Please come here so that you can handle this session. Yes. All right, can you just get 3 hands for starters? Over to you, young man. You wanna come here? I'm giving you the opportunity now. You come here.
Can I ask? Can you guys hear me?
Pardon?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ntlantla Ngasana and I have 3 questions. Okay, the first one is how should students balance their personal ambition or passion with our career choices currently? Then the second one is, do you believe that universities in South Africa and Africa as a whole are doing enough to prepare students for the real world for work? The third one is how do the codes address mental health and emotional well-being of young professionals, and what practical advice would you offer for dealing with stress and imposter syndrome? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic. My goodness, I almost feel like you are a co-author. Those questions are fire. Okay, I'll break it down. So, when you say passion, what do you mean? Passion, by definition, is something that you can do vigorously, and you're excited when you do it. Is that correct? Okay? So, it means, in some sense, passion is tied to you. I want to put it this way. So, you know what you call, if you look at most human beings, especially if you look at the average CV, the things you call your hobbies and your interests are generally the things you like or you love. Does anybody tell me, I'm yet to meet anybody who doesn't like their hobby. Is there anybody in the room? So what do I mean? So you only call it a hobby because you have a stressful life, and then you go to this thing to relax. That's what hobby is. It gives you relaxation from something stressful. Now, imagine if there was nothing stressful. Could you still call it a hobby? Because by definition, a hobby is something you do to relax from something is core to your existence. Are you following me? So the question is, if something that is core to your existence feels like a hobby, would you still have a hobby? So I'm not saying answer yes or no, just have a think. I'm getting you to think. That's the first point. Second point, do you realize that every hobby you have, if you do it enough times, not just because you want to relax, it becomes a passion. Take reading. Follow me? If you love reading, you can read to a point where you're not thinking, wait a minute, I don't want to even read alone. I want to get people to read with me. So you are consumed by reading because you've done it enough times. You don't just do it once in 2 months or once in 1 week when you are stressed. Okay? So now, that definition now helps you in the balancing of passion and career. Because right now, career is standing on this side. It's that thing you do to get money. It's your career. In fact, career is like doing the thing to get money. But let me ask you another question. Is there potential for your hobby to make money? It is, right? Why is it not making money now? There's a simple reason, and I'll tell you. The simple reason why your hobby isn't making money now is because you are the one getting benefit from it. So you go there when you are stressed to enjoy and relax. Okay? Why is career a career? A career is a career because you are not the one getting the benefit. You are getting money, but somebody else gets the benefit. Am I making sense? So if you are an accountant, why are you an accountant? You are paid to be an accountant. You're an accountant because somebody is having stress of accountability. Then you give them accounting. They get benefit and they pay you for it. So very clever way, and I put this picture in the book very clearly. A very cool way to begin to move your hobbies to a passion is to change dynamics. What do I mean? So if you're good at drawing, okay, normally right now, you probably just draw to chill. When you're tired of stress, you draw. Can you imagine if Professor Kalema says, hey, young man, I saw the painting you drew. Can you draw me one? And you say, I'll do that, sir. And Now you draw for him. He enjoys the painting because you've drawn it for him. So you've transferred responsibility or enjoyment or benefit from you to him. Am I making sense? Now he comes back and says, it's my birthday. Can you draw me a special picture? You now have a right to say, hey, Prof, I'm sorry, sir, but paint is expensive. So what have you done? You've now begun to monetize the same activity because you've exchanged the benefit. So what am I saying? As you're young students, the biggest mistake you would make is to finish 4 years and you haven't done enough of what you love. And just focus on what you are studying for career. Because guess what? At some point in life, it will haunt you. Okay? You can see with who I'm talking. I can talk with no PowerPoint for the next 5 days. You can tell, right? Do you know why? Because I get paid to do a hobby. I like the way she did like this. She's like, come on now. This is fire. And you're very correct. That's actually what it is. So now, when you graduate, what normally happens, which is the mistake, is you focus on career. You have enough time to do this thing you love, but it's just a hobby. It's just only you just do it once in a while. Then you graduate and you get no job. What normally happens? Anybody can remember me? When you graduate, you spend 4 years in one particular course, and you graduate, there's no job in the course. What normally happens? Then you now remember, wait a minute, there's something I actually like. Is there a way I can monetize what I like? So people go, maybe I'll open a shop, I'll start selling. But guess what? Isn't that too late in some sense? Because now you're under pressure, but you had 4 years to develop that thing till it makes sense. And the coolest thing, my students, you guys have no idea how lucky you have. You have access to 50,000 potential customers to your hobby. You didn't hear me. I don't think you heard me. You have access to 50,000 potential customers to what you call your hobby. I remember when I was in university, I didn't even know what I was doing, but it just makes sense to do it. I used to give, write poetry and just write it to chill. Then one day, one lecturer saw this poetry, and he was like, this is really cool. And he says, hey, Akan, can you write poetry for my wedding, a customized poetry for my wedding? I'm like, I've never done that. I only write it just to relax. And I wrote a poetry for his wedding. When he read it, he now said, can I pay you to read the poetry at my wedding? What do you think I did after that? I started looking for people everywhere. Do you have an event? Birthday, ceremony. If your mother's sick, I can even write you poetry to read for your mother by the bed. Am I making sense? Because you don't realize that there's a connection between what I love doing that comes easy to me and revenue. So how you create a balance is to align yourself at a point where if your career, you don't really enjoy, but you do it for the money, that's fine. I'm not saying go and quit your job. That's a bad advice. I'm saying make sure you keep doing what you love. And this is the only way I can paint the picture. Sorry I'm spending time because it's a question that affects everybody. So look at what happens. So this is your career, and you keep doing this. You're getting paid. You don't like the job, but it's bringing money. So maybe you love fashion. So this is your hobby. You call it your hobby. So what happens is you spend 1 year after graduating working in banking, which is what you studied. 3 years has passed, 4 years. Each time you look at this fashion, you go, I want to do fashion. You become, I want to, but you never do anything. But this is moving, right? This is increasing. Now you spend 10 years, this is what happens, and I'm telling you guys, over 70% of professionals have this problem. This is true. You spend 10 years doing this thing, but what's funny is each time you see somebody who does fashion, you go, I'm sure I can do better. So you are only the I guy or the I lady. You keep saying, I wish, but you haven't done anything. You keep doing this. It comes to the point where to not even leave this and start this, the time frame is too long. And so you end up being a 50-year-old person who has never been happy. Why would you do that to yourself? The mistake you make is because you think that the time you spend, this is the cool thing about this, you think that the time you spend doing this, you spend the same time doing this. No, you don't. Because remember, you already love this. It comes easy to you. So what normally happens is that all you should just try and do, no matter how small, you can keep doing this, but make sure you never stop doing this, no matter how small. Because what happens is, because you love it, it's in your design, as this is progressing, this also progresses. Are you hearing me? It also progresses. Now, in nature, this is by design. This is how it's designed. What happens is, if this guy meets up with this guy at some point, there's only a logical thing that happens. It's the point in life where professionals go, I'm quitting my job. I want to go straight into just fashion. If you ask them, they've either been reading books on fashion, have a fashion club they join, following fashion people online. They've been doing something around the region of what they love, and whether they knew it or not, they've been progressing in it. That's why it's easy to quit your job and go into this. Don't put yourself in that position. Clap for me now. Okay, number 2. And you're very correct. Universities are not doing enough for careers. That's a fact. It's why I wrote the book, because all this I saw, what triggered the writing of the book shocked me. I had traveled around, I asked the same question, it was the same case. Let me tell you a quick true story. And this is where, maybe that will answer your question better. I'm in the office of a vice chancellor. And I went to come and to kind of get permission to give a lecture to students. So he was asking me, what's this lecture about? And I was saying about careers, interests, hobbies, your passion. As I was speaking, as I'm watching this guy, the vice chancellor of the university, his face drops. I feel sadness creeping. So I'm like, are you okay, sir? What's wrong? And he goes, what if I told you I hate being an academic? I'm like, excuse me, what did you say? He said, I'm the vice chancellor, all right, but I never wanted to be an academic in the university. So I'm thinking in my head, so if you are confused as a vice chancellor, so what hope do your students have? That should answer your question, right? Number 3. Now, it's a very good point. So the book hasn't specifically covered the fundamental principles of mental health and how to manage it. But what it does very carefully is a full chapter is dedicated to this. It actually focuses on how to manage pressure while you're a student. Because most of the mental health issues with students comes from pressure from parents. You know, that kind of pressure where your mom is having a chat with a neighbor in the morning. And the neighbor is talking about, oh, my market yesterday was good. It's about market. But for some reason, before that conversation finishes, your mom will find a way to slip into the conversation that, did you know my daughter is in UKZN? Why is she doing that? Because she expects that is a big deal to be in UKZN, right? So she flashes it for the neighbor every chance she gets. She's a proud woman, and she should be. But can you imagine when you graduate and you spend the first 1 year in the house eating from her pot? She comes back home after, maybe comes downstairs or comes to the kitchen, and you are sharing the last pot of soup. And she's thinking, when will this lady or young child start cooking me soup? Can you imagine how the conversation will go between her and the neighbor the next time they meet? Anyway, that answers your question.
Can I take you, my brother? Yes.
Sure. So, Doctor, as you were speaking, presenting on your books, I couldn't help but get this this very, very bad feeling in my stomach. Like my heart sank to my stomach almost. I was listening to one of the reviews here. One of the students claimed that they believe that the book should be granted during orientation for freshmen. And I'm a final year student, right? And this is the last semester of the last year.
Oh, wow.
Right. And hearing you talk about all of this, I'm thinking to myself that I might be in the wrong career path. And that's giving me anxiety, as you can imagine.
Oh, wow.
And I was wondering if, like, is it too late?
Okay, it's a good question, actually. And it's not just you. This is actually a big continental problem. In fact, you know what's even more interesting? So my former PhD supervisor, this is in the UK, by the way, his wife is a top, his late wife now is a top teacher in secondary school. Mm-hmm. So for some reason, I gave him a copy of the book, just as a signed copy because he was my former supervisor. So he gives the copy of the book to his wife to read. In fact, to be honest, I think I even, so this lady I'm speaking about, I actually appreciate her in the, what do you call it, the acknowledgement of the career code. So she's reading this book and she's thinking, why does Akan think that this book is only for Africa? This is honestly, in my heart, I wrote it for Africa. Mm-hmm. But she's in the UK, she's thinking, why is he assuming this is for Africa? I am a top teacher in the UK, like one of the best secondary schools. And even I struggle. So she asked for a meeting. It was because of her, honestly. I now spend time writing the career code, the secondary school version.
Right.
So what am I telling you? I want to encourage you that you're not alone. That's the first point. Now, point two. It is never too late. Yes. I've seen people who have read just 3 chapters of this book. And in 2-3 months, their life transformed. I've seen people who read a chapter on scholarships and in 2 to 3 weeks get the full scholarship to do their masters. Right. I've seen people who, I can give you many stories. In fact, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you see examples coming out of your ears. So trust me, because of the way it's written, it's very practical. So no matter where you are, you can locate, that's why it's a code. You can locate yourself in the space where, okay, this is my beginning point with my situation. And it now tells you, okay, based on that location, do this, do that, and you're good to go.
All right.
That's the way it's written.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. My name is Professor Gabriel Kabandra. I introduce myself as a member of the African Union's African Scientific and Research Innovation Council. And one of the things that you often promote on the continent is anything to do with research and anything to do with innovation. So I thank you so much, Doctor, for the great books that you've published. I wanted to ask you whether you may want to consider in your next books a collection of the inspirations, the testimonies, a lot of other young people that have been helped so much by this kind of, because I listened to the young girl who gave a poem. And then I say, if we were to collect these, if we were to study these, a lot of people, when they come to university, sometimes they always need mentorship in different ways, but that packaging of those inspirations and testimonies can fit so much into the mentorship programs in different ways. So I'm just asking whether you may want to consider doing that, even some of your future books, because the mentorship programs that you offer sometimes don't have channels or things that are practical, that are illustrative, like the way you're doing. Thank you.
That's it, really, thank you very much, Prof. That's absolutely fantastic. So you see, guys, it's the way I operate. Prof has just offered an opportunity for partnership. And Prof, I accept. No much story. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes, sister.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Anelem Mhlongo, and my question is based on what I think most students are facing. So my question is, as Doc mentioned that a student interest in a module or rather a course can significantly impact their performance with those who are genuinely interested being most likely to succeed. So my question is, in your experience, what advice will you give to someone who feels trapped in their current career, where quitting is not an option, and they are struggling due to lack of interest rather than ability? How can someone in this situation navigate their circumstances and ultimately transition to a career path that they are passionate about?
Wow. And that's a serious question. That's a really serious question. Because you're probably wondering, I'm in my third year, I'm in my second year. I don't really like what I'm doing. So, now, I answer the question realistically. So, number one, you don't actually have money to pay your fees. Okay, you don't have money to support yourself. So your parents are supporting you. I can almost imagine you going to go and tell your dad and mom. I'm not saying you, I'm saying it generally. And you go, Dad, I just finished a lecture. According to the speaker, I have to quit this my course now and start afresh. I can imagine your dad look at you and say, and who is going to pay? Make sense? Okay? So, excuse me. Realistically, I want to advise you on two things. So first and foremost, the course you're currently doing, okay? So in some sense, I'll tell you this. It's something called transferred happiness, transferred joy. I've experienced it many, many times. So what does that mean? So you're doing something you hate, and it's stressful, it's killing you. But at the same time, you're doing something you actually like. It gives you joy. There's a beauty of joy. Joy can be so overwhelming that it actually affects what you hate. And even though temporarily, okay, you do it with some element of joy because now you can't wait to go back to what? Talk to me. To what gives you joy. Okay? The reason why many students are stressed out. Okay, I understand you don't like this thing. But you can't really live it because it's stressful because of your situation. Okay, it's economically involving you. You are already in your year 2. You still have 2 more years to go. And if you graduate without a bachelor's degree, the title bachelor's degree, in the world we live, you are in trouble. Okay? So my advice is this. If you know what you love, and I get a feeling you do, okay? So the first thing is, if you can spend time in that thing you love, trust me, it will impact how you feel towards that thing you don't like, even if you're doing it just to graduate. Are you following me? Right now, all your energy is being sucked by this thing. And there is nothing else replacing the energy with a feeling of being good, or feeling good. Am I making sense? And so, as long as you understand that principle and try as much as possible to just do this thing, bearing in mind that you live in you are in a university with access to laboratories, to equipment, to venues, to clients. The opportunity you have is enormous. Are you following me? And how can you do this practically? Is there a club in UKZN that meets to discuss that thing you love? Okay? Is there an association? Is there a YouTuber that does that thing you love? Follow that person and watch their videos. Is there a celebrity who is doing that thing you really want to do? I don't mean like superficially. Or this celebrity, no, that's not what I mean. What you truly love. If a celebrity exists, follow them. Okay? Are there events around that thing you love doing? Register for the events. This is how you put yourself in the framing of what you love. Because what you're doing is you are progressing in technicality and expertise in the thing you love without even realizing it. Are you following me? And I'm sure you're wondering, hey, but Doc, is there time? Excuse me, you have time. How many times have you been on TikTok? For 4 hours without even realizing it. 4 hours just went by, just watching TikTok videos. And you ask yourself, so what have I done in 4 hours? You just watch unnecessary, sometimes ridiculously nice, beautiful, nice feeling, but unimportant to your life or career. If you are being specific, there's a range of things you can start letting go just to put more time on what you love. That's the secret.
Because of time, 2 more.
Can you guys clap for this man already, please? You do realize, and I'm listening to you, you have the gift of moderation. I'm not joking. So, see me after. Keep going.
Yes, my
Oh, sorry. So I have one question. So one challenge I faced is wanting to try different hobbies, learning new skills, joining societies, and volunteering around university. Because I don't know where my passion will be ignited yet. I'm still trying to find that deep passion. But I worry that by spreading myself too thin, I end up being stuck in a loop of surface level involvement without building any real depth or transferable skills. So now my question is, how can I strike a balance between exploring broadly and committing deeply with the limited time that we have?
That's a really cool question. Very good. Because some people are just multi-talented. They can do many things. Now, I'll answer the question in 2 ways. So the first way is, if you don't know what you like, so when you are younger, that is an issue. But as you get older, and the more you say things, the average child begins to form a feeling of what they love. And parents know this. They just don't know what to do with it. So you see your child is always watching a specific documentary on TV. And you just think it's just normal. When you put another documentary, you see the child revolt. I want this one. That isn't normal. There's something that is drawing that child to that thing. It's like my son. My son, at the age of maybe 4, he loves watching anything about the stars. Just the stars. And if you put anything else, he struggles. But the stars, astrology, the planets, this is the young boy who just walked into the room. I said, Daddy, do you know the diameter of Jupiter? I say, my goodness, what is my business with diameter of Jupiter? And you say, you don't know it, I will tell you. And you just tell me, diameter is this, and according to this, and he just runs and walks away. I said, this is serious. So because I am an expert in this, I start studying them. The same way with my daughter. So my daughter, at the age of maybe 3 or 4, I think it was actually about maybe a little after 2, music comes on the background, and she starts moving her legs. So she's dancing. She's quite little baby. But I discovered that it wasn't so much the movement of the legs. It was the fact that she was moving the legs in rhythm. So if you increase the tempo of the music, she will quicken the movement of the legs. So at that age, she already had rhythm. So by the age of, say, 5, she says, oh, wait a minute, Dad, I want to write a book. Because her dad wrote a book. So she give attempt of writing a book. By the age of 7, I want to draw. And she starts drawing. If I show, you know the Granny Code? My daughter designed the cover at the age of 8. I actually acknowledge her in the book. Why is that? Because as a parent, I understand what is going on. So when you hear dancing and books writing and art, there is something arty or creative about this girl. And as a parent, I know that. So my job is to pump in stuff. So you see me do things like, during my travels, I will send her a picture of mine. I said, sweetheart, can you draw? The first time I did it, she didn't understand what I meant. I said, can you draw this picture? And when you finish, give me an invoice. I remember her going to go her mom and say, Mom, what is invoice? And mom explains, it's like what you give for payment for what you've done. So what am I doing? I'm sure that there's a connection between what she's good at and remuneration. Let me tell you, she's 17 now. Let me tell you how bad it's gotten. I mean bad, but in a good way, but I still what I mean. Now, if you call Kayla and say, sweetheart, I'm a father, can you do this for me? Guess what happens? So you see her, she will pause. And I know what she's thinking. She's thinking, this thing that he has asked me to do, should I do it because I'm a daughter? Or is it worth me charging him for it? This is good. So that girl, you can't cheat her. I feel my point. Now going to your question. I want to let us the foundation first. To go to your point. You can write, you can paint, you can design. And at this moment, you're just going from one club to the other. A very cool way to get you to focus is ask you what I call in the book the money trigger. What's your name?
Mutelo.
So Mutelo, if I said, I would love to give you $100,000 to spend developing yourself or setting something up in one of those things, what will it be?
Yo, mentoring, I love mentoring, so.
So you see how fast she answered the question. So that means in your subconscious, you actually know the prioritization of the different talents. Okay? This money trigger has made you quickly prioritize. That is mentoring. Doesn't mean you don't like other things. Okay? So when you use the money trigger dimension to analyze what the mix of what you love, it gives you a sense of prioritization. What you actually love. Right now, you're just gallivanting because nobody's telling you they will pay you for something. Now I'm telling you, I will pay you $100,000 to do one of those things properly. Right away, your mind focuses and you chose mentoring in a space of 5 seconds. That's what you're supposed to do.
Let me take Ayabongela.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Ayabongega Zanibe. Am I audible? Yes. Am I? Okay. I don't know if you've answered me already. I think you did part of what you said. But as you were talking earlier, I noted down that you said if you have like first choice, maybe a career, something that you are so interested in. But no, not first choice, second choice that you are interested in. So I'm going to try to not be very long. And you had said that, I noted it down that you said you nurture it until it becomes your first option. So my question is, what happens if you then nurture it till it becomes successfully your first option? But then when you have gotten to that point, you get stuck. As you had said earlier, that we are so lucky that we are exposed to like more than 50,000 students. So if you have such great exposure, but then the success, when you're stuck there, the success of the choice that has now become your first option depends on the response of these people. Yeah, like there's so much competition, even at our residencies, when the students who are selling, there's just too much competition. So how then you balance in that environment?
I'm hoping I heard your question, but let me try and answer what I think I heard. So basically, you focused on this thing you love, right?
Yes.
And then you are developing it. Then you get stuck in it. Is that what you mean? Now, I'll tell you one thing for a fact. This is actually true. What you love. So there's something about finding what you love. It's a different thing finding different ways of expressing what you love. They're two different things. Okay? And how to understand it carefully is this. Every career or every potential career is based on a simple principle. It's solving a problem. Does that make sense? Think about it carefully. You are a teacher because you are solving the problem of ignorance. Make sense? You are an accountant, like I said, because you're solving the problem of accountability. So every career or potential career solves a problem. Now, the reason you are stuck is either because what you are offering or the mode of expression has solved all the problem available. But according to the rules of engagement, okay, there are other problems you haven't solved. And what you need to do, therefore, is modify that thing you love and offer it a different way. I'll explain what I mean. So I told you I love writing, right? So, you know, I can write essays. It's not a good thing to do, but get my point. I can write essays for students. Okay? Maybe it's a bad example to use, so scrap that. I don't want you to go and quote me tomorrow and say, Doctor say. But I want to make a point. So I write poems, okay? I write poems, and people use the poems and maybe give it to their friends and so on. That's a mode of expression. By the time everybody has received a poem from me, then what do I do next? Well, wait a minute. Does your mother need poem? So now I've either increased my target audience or I do something else. Wait a minute. I can write a poem in a birthday card for you. So it's no longer just writing poem for you. I can write a poem for a birthday card. I'm still writing, but it's a different way of expression. Are you following my point? Well, wait a minute. Well, I can write. I love writing poems. But I can write poems and deliver poems on campus events. If I'm too shy to do it, then you find a partner who can speak like my friend. And say, our partnership is, I do the writing, you speak it, and we share the money. It's the same poem, but what has happened? A new expression. It's how all gifts are. You can call any gift here, and I'll tell you 5 to 10 or even more expressions. So according to my experience, you can never exhaust or never get stuck if you understand dimensions of the gift or market spaces. Oh, by the way, if at the end of all of this, UKZN is now complete, how far is the nearest university to UKZN? 10 minutes. So you can decide to look for a partner who is a student in DUT. And say, by the way, guys, hello, I have been so good and successful in UKZN as a student. Can you now be my partner? Let's launch this new business of poetry in DUT. You see what I'm doing? Now you are beginning to expand not just the levels of expression, but the markets of expression.
Musa Buthelezi, let's give him a round of applause. Just wait here, just wait here. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that there are still more questions, more reflections that we want to share. But because of time, I know he is not in a hurry. Once we've wrapped up here and we're outside, he's a very patient person and he's very passionate. You've seen that. So he's going to attend to each and every question that you have. Let's just give it that time. So now I've got gifts. These gifts are from corporate services, corporate relations. Dear Lord, I'm gonna be chased out of the university. So, our Buthelezi, siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you so much. Oh yes, please. You did an excellent job.
That was absolutely cool. Very impressive. Stay in the middle. Stay in the middle.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I also have more gifts, but I'm going to give out these gifts after we've heard our closing remarks by our very own Professor Cleme, please.
Sanbonani. Ninjani. So I don't know about you, but I'm filled with something. I don't know what it is. I don't know, Doc, if it's inspiration or joy or I need to fill that cup or the other cup, whatever it is. So thank you so much, Executive Director for Corporate Relations, Ms. Zondo. Thank you so much. We have a speech here and now technology is not cooperating. Thank you so much, our Director of Ceremony, UKZN Press Director. So you have two director positions for today. You put it on your CV today. Thank you so much, Dr. Dlamini. Thank you so much, Ma'am Cheryl Naika, for being here and sharing your story of your friend and colleague. Thank you so much to the author of the 3 volumes that we're launching today, Dr. Akinimo Odon. We were with him the whole 2 days. From yesterday to today, the whole team in the College of Law and Management Studies, and he inspired all of us, and colleagues couldn't wait to come back again to hear him again speak. So we're all inspired by you. Thank you so much for being here. Esteemed guests who are here today, all of you who have really made an effort to be here while it was raining. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. So as we come to a close today, and I don't know about you, but I think something, I don't know if it's my lips that you were talking about or the taste buds or something that defines who I am, that is uniquely me, has been very inspired today by what you do. And I think the passion that you bring into the space is infectious, if that's a word. Huh? So it's infecting all of us, and I hope it stays with us. So thank you so much. Let me allow myself to express gratitude to all of you who came today, but also for all of you behind the scenes. I see a lot of passionate people here who are behind the camera, and I'm sure, knowing the UKZN team, something wonderful is going to come out of this. So thank you so much for the tireless work that you are doing for the university. For the members of staff who are here, who have really, really made an effort to show, to give, our sincere appreciation. Your efforts made today a success. To our guests, staff members, students, partners, we thank you for joining us. Your presence and your engagement and your contributions into the very fiery discussions that we've had. I mean, full questions for your future. I think you were asking these questions because you are seeking the answers and you wanted to go deeper into the conversation, and we really appreciate the depth of the questions that you were asking. I think that those questions have enriched all of us to see that there's hope in this country, there's hope in you as young people. So allow me to say my deepest gratitude to you, Doc. I'm going back to you, coming back to you, for the work that is very inspirational and practical. And I think what makes it unique is your well is your experience, right? So when our grandmothers go to get water in the well, you know something good is coming. So I think your experience is enriching all of us. So thank you so much. We are grateful to the knowledge you have shared. We look forward to many contributions you continue to make. And I think the reviews, my God. Please, on your CV, write book review. Please do that, because you have those who have written those reviews. Those are book reviews. In academia, there is a section for book reviews, right? So please do that. With all these words, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't want to be before you and whatever is coming after, I want to thank you once again for being part of this occasion. Safe travels. Let's enjoy ourselves. Be safe out there. And I'll give it back to you, Doc.